if I get a wind turbine, it's worth $250,000 to me today's dollars. You take that off 40 acres, that's $6,000 an acre I lose if I can't get a wind turbine. Who's to decide who's the best use? The people that own the property, or I go to the zoning board? You talk about the majority of the citizens, look behind you. When you did this comprehensive plan, you went to 3 schools. I went there to make one. There's probably about 200 people there. But when it was presented that it's a done deal. I looked at the paperwork that was given out. You couldn't say you didn't want it. The only thing you could check was what you want to restrict. So did you really get the will of the people or not? And in fact, what Brock said, I'm not so sure. I haven't seen your paperwork. I don't know what it could have said. The guys, are you wrong? Did you do something wrong? Really look at that really close. It looks like from the outside looking in, if I'm a business and I invest money here, you change the rules midstream, I'd be pretty upset too. I bought a farm just outside Crawfordsville. See, it was 2002. I'm a farmer. I want to farm. But I also knew how close to Crawfordsville. I had the thought that maybe I could develop it sometime. If we do this, I've got to come begging somebody to let me develop my property. Property tax revenue. Apex has already told you how much money they'll give you. 1.3 million a year of property tax revenue thrown out the window. The thing that really bothered me about this is many houses in Montgomery County are already capped. Their property taxes will not go up. The county needs money in 3 years. Where do you want to get the money? Farms and industries. You're devaluing my property, but you'll ask me for more property tax revenue. We already have a lot of laws and regulations in place today for drainage, for building codes, septic systems. Enforce what we got. What's this thing going to cost us? We're talking about administrators, building, rent, secretaries. And the greatest thing, zoning protects who? The guy that presented it twice now said it's very changeable, it's in flux. I come in and build a building, or I'm going to come in and build an industry, and you change the use on me in the middle of the street. You've already done it once. And just as a little information, I was a trustee at First Baptist Church about 20 years ago. We were just inside the 2-mile jurisdiction of Crawfordsville. We needed to build a bus barn. Unfortunately, our peak was slightly too high, and they asked for variance. I went early to the meeting. Country Club Road, a neighbor was mad because another neighbor built a garage that blocked his view of Sugar Creek. We had our hearing. As I'm walking out, the next one was a person on Country Club Road built a building on his property that blocked his neighbor's view of Sugar Creek. I don't remember what order they were. One's accepted, one's denied. Same thing, less than 3 or 4 blocks apart. We do not need zoning, we do not need some unimproved council to approve the property. Thank you.
John, in your opening statement, you stated how important I was in Montgomery, right? We have no representation whatsoever on this plan commission. Why is that? And Dan, all the dance talks, all this meeting is, and all this is to stop wind farms. You don't care about nothing else but to stop wind farms. You're changing the rules in midstream and what the county agreed to later on. Everybody here, me included, our taxes on our houses is going up, our farmland is going down. The state government controls what our tax is on our farm, and it'll go down again next year on the farms. Houses have to go up. Somebody has to pay the bill. The only place you can put it is a person's house. Thank you.
My name is Jake Outkill, and my address is 6526 North State Road 47. you know, hearing Mark talk about property values and that sort of thing, I had an appraisal done by a company here. And I believe I sent it to the commissioners, and I'm not sure if I emailed it to this particular set of people. But I paid with it with my own money, and that report shows 20 to 50% loss of property value whenever you have a wind turbine around your area. So I think farmers should consider that. You know, if you're building something like that, you shouldn't affect my property value negatively. It should be, everybody should be thought about on an equal playing field. And in FYI, I had done, Aaron Baker even admits to decrease property values. So, and she works for FUO or Apex or whoever, right? So I'm sure many of you know who I'm talking about. Thanks.
Jake.
Nick Davis, 2413 West Ridge Trail Reserve. I'm here to support the wind farm group. And actually this is a lot more personal for me than many of you. The reason is you are forcing me to breathe in toxic air fumes from the Cleveland coal plant in Vermilion County. This is because there, you may laugh at this, on the government website, it very clearly points out the emissions coming from the Cleveland plant, 4 points west of that, including Montgomery County, and where we are in this room right now, we are breathing in mercury, lead, other toxins, small particulate matter. According to the government website, it causes premature death, heart diseases, asthma-related problems. You are forcing me, by stopping this wind farm, to breathe in more toxic air than I need to. Please consider that and make a decision.
Hi everybody, Paul Rusk, 3592 North, 1000 West, Levittown, Indiana. I'm urging you to not make a recommendation for this particular ordinance for various reasons. First reason, we talked about the number of people. At the election, November 6, 2018, one of the commissioners, Jim Fullwider, beat an anti-wind turbine candidate 65% to 35%. Now, I got these numbers from the paper published on November 7th, so if that's wrong, I'm sorry about that. There was a large turnout. Jim Fullwider got 7,724 votes, and Stevens got 4,135 votes. Why did people vote that way? I don't know. I know why I voted that way, because one of the candidates specifically said no wind turbines, and he's the one that was defeated. This ordinance protects you from a few things, but we're not talking about large animal feeding operations. We're not talking about large water withdrawal facilities, because that's everybody's water. We're not talking about runoff. This ordinance was written for wind, nothing else. You've added some other things to it. What about a large animal feeding operation? It doesn't have to go through the same steps. Is it industrial? Sure looks like it to me. So I just don't think this ordinance protects what you're trying to protect. I would urge you to vote against this ordinance, or I'm sorry, to not make a recommendation. I think it's been done too fast. And I think there's another commissioner, when it gets down to the vote for the commissioners, you know, we've lost one, we've got a brand new one. And I just don't really think we want to go down this road. For goodness sakes, listen to what Mr. Taylor talked about we're going to have to do. I thought at first this was non-restrictive. Maybe I'm not listening. Sounds to me like it's restrictive. So please pass this as no recommendation. Is that the one of the four? Okay. It can be looked at again. Just because you pass for no recommendation tonight don't mean it's dead. It needs to be expanded. You need to protect our groundwater. You need to protect this large confined animal feeding operations. Are they industry or are they agriculture? You tell me. Thank you very much.
My name is Darren Hecky. I live at 108 North Grant here in Crawfordsville. Good evening. Thank you all for hearing us speak. I come here tonight for something I'm very passionate about, wind energy. I've seen the benefits wind can bring to a local community firsthand. I watched the community resurrected by it. We have the same opportunity here. Do we need some sort of plan and vision? Yes, but not in its current form. We have two companies that want to move here and invest in our community. Isn't that what the overall vision is? They have already spent thousands, if not millions, to make this happen. We have the opportunity to bring in millions of revenue without putting a strain on our limited workforce. On top of that, they donate to local schools, they donate to youth organizations, they sponsor youth sports and teams, they sponsor local festivals, they invest in their communities. To grow, we have to start somewhere. 10 to 15 jobs may not seem like much to Crawfordsville, but to a small community like Wayne Town or Darlington, that is huge. Those people buy homes in those towns. They buy groceries at places like Greg's Corner Market. They eat lunch at Pizza King or Cracker Barrel restaurant. They buy gas at F&F Market. This revenue can be used to grow the community, population, and workforce. That will help bring in more companies. Right now, no one is beating down our doors to move here. We just lost out to Kentucky on Nucor expansion. I've been told that after this passes, that they, the wind companies, can come back and renegotiate. Is Nucor going to come back and renegotiate next year? It's not that simple. By passing this ordinance, not only are you turning away millions in revenue, you are also taking income away from local farmers and landowners. This rush for a zoning ordinance is supposedly due to an impending lawsuit. Are you not afraid of more lawsuits to come if you run wind out of town? You want to heal the community. Yes, we are divided. There's no secret about that. But now you're forcing people to choose between no zoning and no wind energy. To me, that seems like it's only going to divide the community even more. And will of the people. No wind petition only has around 2,000 signatures. That's only 9% of the voting public in Montgomery County. How is 9% the will of the people? A few weeks ago, the Indiana legislature defeated a controversial power plant moratorium aimed at preserving in-state coal generators. Companies like NIPSCO and Vectren are retiring their coal plants and investing in renewable energy like wind. You have companies like Budweiser, Facebook, Intel, Apple, Walmart using wind energy. Like it or not, renewable energy is the future. We can invest in the future, or we can pass it up. If we pass it up, someone else will say yes. Don't let another community reap our benefits. Thank you.
Hello, Mariah Martin, 3480 North, 500 East. Just to touch on some things that these other gentlemen have said. Am I the only person that is getting tired of things being passed through and decided behind closed doors and under the shade of night? I mean, am I the only one? No. Okay. The comp plan. We all know about the comp plan. The comp plan was funded by a grant. I asked, what does this grant, what strings are tied to this grant? And I was told, nothing. How much Section 8 housing came with this grant? Our population is increasing. It's increasing with the Section 8 that we had to agree to with this comp plan. The zoning, of course, came out 2 days after the comp plan, after the commissioner meeting where we were told this is not zoning. You can have planning without zoning. 2 days later, actually I found out a day later, that this was coming out. It's my understanding we don't have a new commissioner yet. Does somebody know something I don't know? I mean, I thought that was the 29th that was going to be decided. Is that right? Okay, so do we already have one or not? It's also my understanding that Nucor didn't avoid coming here because of zoning. We already have a Nucor here. They knew we didn't have zoning. I am under the understanding that Nucor didn't come here because it cost them twice as much to buy power from Duke as it does from CELP. And they did not have the option of choosing a different carrier because of a Senate bill that was passed by our senator. Things are done after the fact all the time. Our current senator just passed a bill in the State House. It actually passed out of the conference committee, thank you, conference committee today, where he didn't like our towns putting in this 4-mile ordinance. Senator Lannon said, you need to grandfather those towns in. Because you can't go after the fact when you don't like something that somebody did and change the law. They followed the law, and you need to grandfather them in. They did. Representative Gutwein said, no laws were broken with those ordinances. His direct quote was, I am sure the Wynn people are not going to be happy, but no one broke any laws. Mr. Heckey will let you think that all these other places are just clamoring to get Wynn. County Board in Kansas actually blocked a wind turbine company from coming to their county today. So people are not clamoring. Tippecanoe County, Boone County, and Fountain County have all said no. I don't want to be the idiots in the middle. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Rob Webster, 3729 West 400 North. My question to you is, I think we're going way too fast on this, and my question to you is, how are we going to fund the administrators and all the extra costs we're going to have with our zoning board and our planning commission? When it gets on and adopted, those people are going to have to be paid. And I don't know, the council controls the money. It's going to take more than what the user fees are going to be to properly pay those people. And I think before we make a recommendation, we need to cross all our T's and dot our I's. And that's the question I have, is how we're going to fund this. It's fine to pass something, oh, our taxpayers are going to pay for it. Well, no, I don't think so. I think we need to figure out how we're going to get it paid for. That's a question you need to ask yourself, how are we going to pay for it?
My name is Darren Floor, Crawfordsville, Indiana, Market Street. My concern is a little different. I remember when they built the other golf course out of Country Club, they started chemicaling it, doing all that, then they shut the spring off. Got contaminated. My concerns are if you take 50-foot wide by 50-foot wide, 50-foot deep holes, clean water's at 80 feet. You're jamming all kinds of metal rods in it. Water travels at the path of least resistance in the field. As the water's going down through all this stuff to filter it to get to the water table, it's going to stop and run over to those and go straight in. I was just concerned it'd be a high concentrated farmers chemicals in the field due to busting through everything that filters water in the field. Seems like a bad idea. Once you mess up the water table, it's just messed up. That's all. Me personally, thank all of you for your job that you're doing.
April Johnson, Madison Township, and I can't think of any other industry that encompasses approximately 3/4 of the county as the wind turbines currently plan to do. And, you know, nobody wants to live right next to a hog farm. I lived a mile from a hog farm for many years. It was never a big issue for me. I know there's people that are closer, but being a mile away was not a problem. But when you talk about wind turbines, those that live within a couple miles of wind turbines lose 20 to 50% of the property value. Mr. Alkelt had it confirmed in an independent study. And we can't afford to have 3/4 of our county lose 20 to 50% of the property value. There are already people here, and at least some of them are sitting in this audience who have tried to sell their homes. And we're told, we're gonna wait until we see how the wind goes, because those wind turbines are not interested. There's people already doing that. There's already people who have sold their houses quickly and quietly to get out, because they don't want the risk of losing all that value in their homes. And so when you're talking about wind industry, destroying the property value, and yes, Karen Baker has written a letter to one of my neighbors, Erin Baker is now with Apex. She was with a Kumo, and she has confirmed that. We have documentation on that. And so we can't afford to do that. I've talked to small business owners in our community who, they will leave. That's the businesses that will leave if winter rains come, because they live here. And with them go their families. And so if you lose families, you're going to lose school population and school enrollment. The school enrollment is school money. And I think that's going to far outweigh any benefit that wind things might bring in tax revenue. They need to be stopped.
Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Kimbra Lowe, and the quote from Dan Taylor is, "If the proposed zoning ordinance is not adopted, then there would be no need to change Chapter 155. So to me, the line has been drawn. Either take zoning and possibly keep out the wind turbines, or don't have zoning and keep our poorly constructed ordinance in place as it is. It makes me wonder why these new proposed wind turbine restrictions weren't put into Chapter 155 in the first place. Zoning is not required to put an ordinance into place. I do not want zoning. I do not want wind farms. I believe there are better, less controlling ways to keep the wind turbines out of Montgomery County, rather than having a small committee have control of everyone else's personal property. Zoning is forever. So I am asking you to vote no on zoning and to find a better way to fight against these wind farms. Thank you.
Gary Booth, 8661 North New Richmond Road in Richmond. I'm also a county councilman. And I too would like to know, I'm on the budget committee. I would too like to know how you're going to pay for it. Say this is pretty generic, it's not invasive. Article 1.03 on the zoning ordinance. No structure shall be located, erected, constructed, reconstructed, moved, converted, or enlarged, nor shall any structure or land be used or be designed to be used except for full compliance with all the provisions and ordinances after the law ensuance of it without a permit. That's pretty invasive. That's paragraph 3. I'm concerned about what you folks are going to do from Union Township. I count 3 elected officials. Everybody else is appointed. I'm not pointing the finger at appointed officials, but folks out in the outlying area have no representation. I get it that they elect the commissioners and else, just like everybody else, but they really have no representation. One of the biggest issues this county's seen in my lifetime, and there's a house full, but it affects everybody in the county, 38,000 people. You need local representation to make these decisions. And I propose that you figure out a way to use the township trustees and their advisory board, and you have to go get their permission before you change anything in that township, because they have the pulse of those folks. Then everybody's got some representation. And you can talk to your local township trustee. They're elected every 4 years. Then everybody has representation. You might think about that.
Hi, I'm Lucy Slavens. I live at 5639 West US 136 in Newtown. Obviously, I'm wearing red. I'm against wind. I'm excited about Section 6. But I have some general concerns because I don't know a lot about zoning, and you guys didn't label any of this out. So I'm sorry if it's supposed to be common sense, but There's nothing grandfathered in, and so the existing businesses, small businesses, for people who live in our county, what happens to them? I mean, are they going to be grandfathered in before zonings, or are they going to be penalized daily plus a $2,500 fee? And then, you know, some of them, like, just an example, the auto repair. So that is permitted in a commercial area, but there are several people who are licensed mechanics. They work out of their home garage in a residential or agricultural area. So I'm just concerned about that. It doesn't say anything in there that anything's grandfathered in. I want to know if something's going to bring more tax rate increases, because I'm paying a lot of money for my tiny house and tiny property as it is. To piggyback on the last two people, where are you getting the funds for this? And will the BZA also require an attorney? Because, I mean, that's more money that I don't think anybody's pointed out. If districts are rezoned, are you going to notify the residents? In fact, we don't have 38,000 people here today, so I'm concerned that the people without internet and without cell phone reception have no idea what's going on right now, because I bet a large majority of our county is pretty clueless, and so I'm concerned of how they're going to be, contacted, let them know that their world has changed and they have no idea. The other thing I think is, I agree, township trustees should be involved. If you guys are going to not allow us to elect you or BZA, then we need an elected somebody in there. I mean, at least in our trustee areas, I mean, we can elect those people. And then I guess my other question was, all the existing ordinances we had before this zoning ordinance, are those void? Like, how do you roll this all in together? I don't understand this process. And then, yeah, I think that's everything I have.
Debbie Butler, 6793 North, 800 East. I was not going to say anything tonight, but I am speaking to you as a Sugar Creek Township Advisory Board. To my knowledge, we've not been contacted about any of this. If you guys want true representation, talk to the people that have been voted in to represent their communities. We have our fingers on the pulse of the areas that we live. I'm just asking you to come to our meetings. They're announced, they're open, and don't let the color that I'm wearing misconstrue you as to who I represent.
Anyone else?
Rich Watkins, Sugar Creek Township. All over the country, there are people fighting wind farms. They're fighting these things all over the world. People do not want these things. They can say what they want about how great they are, but they're making a very small percentage of power overall. And that power made from these wind turbines has to be backed up with conventional energy. So it's not going to be good for the county. If you look at Benton County, there's an example of the county failing. Their subsidies are running out up there, and the schools are going to be hurting for money. So we don't want to see this happen again in the county, so we say stop it. Thank you.
My name is Michael Howell, 4019 West US 136 Crawfordsville. And something I want to touch on, we need to look and realize that Montgomery County is a very beautiful place with a lot of natural assets. We have Sugar Creek and many other things in state parks. And I believe there's some tourism due to that. And it's a desirable place. If you were in a county in the middle of Kansas that had no jobs, nothing going on, it's just a dire situation. Maybe wind farms make sense there, I don't know. But in a place like Montgomery County, they do not make sense. There's too much going here. There's jobs, and I believe there's a local developer builds houses, he sells them quicker than you can build them. Like, people want to live here. And I just want to say that Montgomery County is a beautiful, desirable place. Let's not ruin it with industrial wind turbines.
My name is Teresa Buckle, 7212 West 970 North Wingate. My husband and I both support the wind farms. He's kind of negative on the zoning, and I was kind of pro, but we're still getting along. Indiana is in about the top 5 dirtiest states when it comes to air, water, and soil. We have more coal ash pits than any other state. In a report where they tested 15, all 15 were leaking into the groundwater. There's a lot of talk on the different issues with the wind turbines. There's only 3 quarts of oil in a wind turbine. How much oil do we lose when we're driving around in our vehicles day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year? We cannot keep doing this to our environment. You cannot keep spewing CO2 into the atmosphere and expect nothing to happen. I want us all to get along. We need to compromise. But wind and solar are coming. There are many companies that are taking this on. They're using it as their sole power, and they're succeeding. There's wind farms in California that have had no issues. I don't know the names of them. I looked a lot of it up, but I can't remember it all. The point is, we need to look towards the future for our children, because the world is changing, and we all hate change, but we need to look at this responsibly together, compromise, and move forward to save our planet. And I know there's a lot of people that don't want to hear, oh, it's another psycho talking about climate change. I believe it's real. We need to just study this some more, take some more time if we have to. But I think that wind, solar, renewables are the future for all of us. Thank you.
David Emmerich, 4346 West, 650 North. We live right smack dab in the